Hi, this is Mark. You might have watched my video critical of the recent DOE report platforming carbon dioxide is a good thing for the planet. I guess I'm doing a little update video here on that because breaking news yesterday, the Department of Energy canceled the climate working group that wrote that report. Yeah. And so apparently the DOE was sued by the Environmental Defense Fund and the Union of Concerned Scientists, who said that the report violated a bunch of federal transparency laws. And it sounds like they had a pretty good case based on what I read on Substack, and I am starting to read Substacks now. And so it looked like the DOE was probably going to lose that, but we'll never know because before their day in court, they disbanded the group and said the lawsuit was moot. Now, they still had a day in court today. I don't know how that worked out. We'll have to find out. But anyway, so what does that mean? So I thought about it and I picked out what I think, again, based on my limited knowledge of the situation, 3 winners and 3 losers. The clear winner, I think no one could argue with this, is Secretary Chris Wright. He just said, having collided with so many orthodoxies, I'm confident that we've excited the much needed debate in this area and can dissolve the climate working group. So I think he got exactly what he wanted. He wanted to platform these ideas. He wanted to bring these into the mainstream. And I think he did a pretty good job of that with this report, even if it has been shut down, even if it's never going to get better than this. I think he was excited about that. And even the lawsuit, I think, is something he was able to use to his advantage. He said, it is unsurprising that we are now facing yet another effort to declare science settled and to shut down this debate. And that's what it sort of looks like, I guess, if you're not really paying attention to this. Now, again, there's nothing stopping the DOE from moving forward. I think that groups that work on things disband all the time. So they didn't have to stop working on this. That seems to me Mr. Wright's choice, which makes me also think he's gotten what he wants. If you are critical of climate science, I think you are also a winner here. Again, many of you I've read in the comments of other videos, you're not happy that this report got stuck and stopped and stymied. But this is the closest that these kind of views have ever gotten to being platformed by a major U.S. agency. This is the debate that people wanted. And I think both sides are frustrated at this point that it hasn't happened. I think people were ready for the fight. If there was going to be a fight, let's have a fight. And anyway, I think the climate scientists themselves, I think, are also winners. I think there was a lot of really good defenses. I think a lot of people came forth, made very articulate cases how their research was misused by the report, and that made the report look really bad. Again, a little bit of a mixed win there because I think there is ammunition to say that climate scientists couldn't defend their point because it was a lawsuit that shut this down, not a debate. Should that Jubilee debate ever happen, we'll settle that when we get a chance. I think the climate working group actually came out as losers. I think the report was, surprisingly erratic. I think that the fact that they were misquoting scientists, misrepresenting their work, using reports that had already been refuted within scientific journals, I think it was a bad look. And I think that they got a lot of the criticism. I think the DOE does not look good. I think both sides are upset with the DOE. If you are critical of climate science, you are mad that they screwed up the paperwork. This should have been something that they had lawyers to take care of. And now, again, you're not getting the debate you want. And I think if you are a believer in the consensus, it's frustrating to see a major U.S. agency getting this close to platforming what you see as climate denialism. And speaking of agencies, that makes our last, I think, loser, and that's the EPA. I think the EPA was really going to lean in on the DOE study in their reevaluation of the endangerment finding, which allows the federal government to regulate a lot of greenhouse gases. And now without that, I think the EPA is left holding the bag to somehow find the evidence to back this up. And that's going to be a tough road to hoe, I think. So to be continued. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with my winners and losers here, even if you don't agree with my thoughts about the DOE report? Let me know. I think this could be a neat place to have some conversations about the policies of climate science, although I do plan to post videos about basic climate science, but I'm working on it. I'm doing a bunch of videos over on my other channel about sig figs. So why don't you come on over to Guillotine Chemistry? You can learn about some chemistry. Until then, have a great day. Thank you. I really appreciate your time.